Hello, everyone. It's Fred Hodgins, and here in Ontario, Canada, and it is the beginning part of April, and we're living in unprecedented times. It goes. Everybody knows that right now what we're going through. I've got friends in South Africa, in Chile, in Europe, and everywhere, even to some of the remotest regions, people are all going through the same thing. I've never seen anything like this, and I don't think anybody in the world alive today has really seen anything like this. And so we're going to be talking about some solutions to the challenges we're facing to online income. We're going to also be talking about health and the things that we're all facing. I've been a home business professional for a long time, and I've also worked outside the home. I was an electrician. I started working as back in the early 80s at a refinery. So boy, that's quite a while ago now. I was able to retire 7 years ago from that because of working from home. But I've been an entrepreneur. I've done pretty well. I've owned a franchise. I've done a real estate sign company where I installed real estate signs, raised a family. Now I've got 4 grandkids, 2 daughters, 4 grandkids, and another grandbaby to be born this month sometime. So sometime in April, we'll have a new grandbaby, and all amongst the stuff that we've got going on. So the purpose of the call is really to talk about working from home, working online, finding a trend, finding products, find something that you can back. If it was true that there really was a natural product that was proven at the highest levels of science, peer-reviewed science, peer-reviewed studies to activate the immune system, where it's right on the bottle. And this is a bottle Protandem, and right on the bottle in Canada, Health Canada has approved it to say this product. So Protandem activates the body's own antioxidant defense mechanisms. So that means building the immune system, activating your own cells. If there was a way to do that, would you want to know about it? If it was brought to the marketplace by a publicly traded company on the NASDAQ, that everything's transparent, everything from what the CEO makes to how many shares there are, it's traded on it every day with quarterly reports, reported projections, everything about the company's transparent. Last year, it did $226 million. The month of March was our best month ever, probably because we're solving some of the challenges that are in place today. So let me just do, actually, I'm going to start with an ABC Investigative News report. A friend of mine, a guy I knew out in Vancouver, I'd worked with him. I'd actually invested in one of his companies that he'd started, and it actually went bust. And that's a significant amount because of trust of this guy's experience and that, but it was just at the wrong time, and the market shifted for what he was doing. And I watched how he handled that with grace. And put everything into it and still handled it with grace. So when he actually called me and asked me to watch an ABC Investigative News report, I was more than happy to do so. I was out in the barn, came in and watched it. And I've had, at that point, about 20 years experience in this industry. Never had the kind of success we're having now, but I kind of knew what to look for. And when he showed me that ABC News report, I saw a history in the making. First off, it's not a self-promoted company video saying we've got the latest and greatest, blah, 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 right? It was ABC News investigating them. And they talked about activating the cells through reducing oxidative stress, and it was done in 2005. I saw this at the end of 2012. So I thought, boy, if this is true, I want to know about it. I want to validate it. I want to verify it. So we're going to play the ABC News, and then I'm going to show you where you validate it. And then we'll talk a little bit about leverage, and then we'll wrap this up. So go ahead, Dan, if you would play that ABC Investigative News report.
The following video is an ABC primetime investigative report that started the biohacking revolution in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic.
High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
Protandim NRF2 is protected by 7 U.S. patents. Major universities and government agencies initiated and continue self-funded studies following the ABC Primetime Investigative report you just viewed that originally aired back in 2005. These studies continue to reveal more scientific evidence about Protandim NRF2's unique benefits and to evaluate how this anti-aging breakthrough can prevent and improve many of the problems associated with aging.
All right. So, I see something different. I've watched this video at least once a day. Lately it's been more than that as we've been doing these, sharing the good news, as I call it. But a couple things jumped out at me right that very first time when I watched this ABC investigative news report. And I wrote a few of them down here again. But John Quinones, who's a reporter, he's won Emmys. He's won it for doing investigative reporting. He said, maybe on a landmark scientific experiment. Remember, this was 2005. He said, with decades of experience, so the doctors behind this had decades of experience. It begins with a blood test. Builds up more enzymes, less free radicals. Oxidative stress, I didn't know what that was. So we think of when we cut an apple in half or a banana, we cut something in, a fruit in half, it turns brown very quickly, or rusting from the inside out, rusting a vehicle or a piece of metal rusting. And then he said, let me see. Vitamin C and D, I think that was in a different version. Vitamin C and D is not enough. It's not good enough. We have multiple antioxidant enzymes. We now know that Protandim NRF2 is activating 500 survival genes. Took the blood of an 80-year-old to a 20-year-old. We could go on and on. But one thing that jumped out at me the very first time was he said, not the first time I've given blood for this company. And haven't we all given blood for our company? And not necessarily mean a blood test. That's not what he meant. It means blood, sweat, and tears. It means putting everything on the line. It's getting called in the middle of the night to do work. It's getting, whenever the chips are down, is going in and producing. And we've all done that, whether it's for working for ourselves, through a sole proprietorship business, or where I did for the plant and for the refinery, or what you've done. And at the end of the day, in a linear model, we just get paid for what we agreed to do. The person that's doing the least amount of work at the same pay grade gets paid the same as the person that's producing the most. And actually, the reason that one person can hang on to their job is because the person that is producing the most. And so, not the first time I've given blood for this company. So let's dig into some of the research where we're at. And let me just do a quick share and show you how to get the information. So lvconnector.com is the website. I've got two screens, so I'll be looking over to my right a little bit. The LV Connector, that's where you see that 4-minute ABC News report. And then there's a tab, What is Aging? We've now got 20 products, but 3 of them specifically are cellular activators. And so what is aging? We've got down below a products tab, a doctors tab, and more about the opportunity there. And then this more tab on the side here. So that's where we can see the science, right? I wanted to understand the science. I thought, if this is real, I want my mom and dad to know about this. I want my little brother, my little sister. I want my neighbors. I want my friends, the people closest to me, my kids, my animals. We have large breed dogs, and we put them on it right away. So we click here on this very first one. It's going to take us to a website called pubmed.gov, publicationmedicine.government. And I knew about this website. Fortunately enough, at the time, I knew about it. So I went in and I typed in oxidative stress. But this one here is a link to the very first study that was ever done on Protandim. And it was peer-reviewed by 2006. There's a date here somewhere, 2006. But before it was peer-reviewed, it was in ABC News found out about it. That's how that study came to be. If you want to look up some of these people here that did this, were part of the study. But this Sally Nelson, I've looked her up recently, and it's amazing what Dr. Sally Nelson has accomplished in her life. And she's an expert in free radical biology and oxidative stress. But let's jump right to this. So Protandim, if you can see my mouse moving here, this is a study done on the 5 branded herbs of this product called Protandim. And it was done on healthy human subjects from 20 to 78 years old. So this isn't something that's done in a petri dish or something that's done on animals. And those studies are important and they can be valuable. But this particular study was done on people. And it says here, this is the abstract that it was a blood test. Blood was analyzed before supplementation. We would call it activation today because it's activating our cells. It's not a supplement, but after 30 days and 120 days. So before, after 30 days and 120 days, samples of blood were drawn. The T-bars, or oxidative stress, declined an average of 40%. And this is key. The age-dependent increase was eliminated. That's a peer-reviewed study. By 120 days, the SOD, superoxide dismutase, a big molecule in the cell that we need to survive, increased by 30% and catalase by 54%. That is huge. So if that was all we had, we all should be taking this product, right? Just from this one thing. So, but here's going to PubMed again and oxidative stress, right? So 227,000 studies. You can just see some of the headlines here of some of these studies as they pop up, right? So we can see here it's being studied on, I'm going to say in most medical studies, that they're looking at oxidative stress. Another thing is mitochondria. Mitochondria is the power plant of the cell. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but I just typed in mitochondria. We're activating the mitochondria, which is associated not only with aging, but even in survival. 20% or 10% of our body weight is made up of mitochondria. It helps our cells to replicate correctly. If you really want to just look into that a little deeper, just type in Google, go to Google and type in mitochondria dysfunction and ask yourself if you want a healthy mitochondria. NRF2 is another protein that the product Protandim is activating this protein. And there's 15,000 studies, and we could go on and on looking at sirtuins and that. So let's just, I want to just do a quick, dig a little bit deeper, and documentation beats conversation. So I just showed you something online so that it's current. And, you know, and we could tell stories all day long, testimonials and how this works and how it's been working and what people feel. But I would rather keep to the science, right? And keep to what is actually in the peer review science and what about the products and the timing. So in any successful online business, you need to have these 4 things. Product, you have to have an outstanding product, or why bother? You need to have timing, the right timing. You need to have a system, mentorship, a company, you know, all of that combined, and we need to be able to get paid. So I'm going to be talking a bit about the products a little bit more. This is the original product you just saw, Protandim NRF2. I stated on the bottle in Canada. It actually says on the bottle, because Health Canada makes us put it there. It says Protandim activates the body's own antioxidant defense mechanism. Like, what could be more important than that today, having a healthy immune system? This is some of the journals that this has been published in, and some of the universities that have studied this: Ohio State, Harvard, American Heart Association, Colorado State, LSU, Washington State University, and so forth. So Protandim NRF1, it's a second Protandim, and it's activating the mitochondria. When you go to the lvconnector.com and the what is aging, it's going to explain that in, I think, a 3 or 4 minute video. But improving cellular energy production, cellular health, boosting mitochondria production and their ability to network with one another, being able to, the mitochondria is responsible for the duplication of cells, increasing our energy, increasing our focus, our brain focus. How important is that? In October, they developed, after years and years of research, looking at the sirtuin protein in the cell and how important that is. And it's proven that that as we age, the sirtuins decrease. So when we're 10 years old or 15 years old, sirtuins are up here. And when we're 50, they're down here. And by the time we're 80, they're down here really low. So increasing sirtuins is so important. Well, LifeVantage, because they're looking at cellular activation, not supplementation, but activation, turning on the survival genes. They've been able to do this through the molecule NAD, and we're increasing sirtuins by 100% in 24 hours. So the 3 Protandims, we're just going to mainly focus on the Protandims in this short presentation. We've got antioxidant therapy, antioxidant theory of aging, mitochondria theory of aging, sirtuins. And so when you can combine all 3 of those, this is the results you get. In the top left corner shows just the 40% we were talking about in 30 days with the one product. Look at the increases when you combine these 3 products together. On the left or right-hand side, you see a little switch. I'm an electrician, so I love this slide because it's a mental of turning on a light switch. Well, imagine that on 38 trillion cells, and each of these cells have multiple switches. Like, some of them, a brain cell has like 2,000 switches per cell. It's super complicated. Well, what if you could naturally, through food, increase that to optimize our health? Here's just another chart to show, you know, this working together. The baseline is without any of it, and then this is it's working together. So that's the product. Let's just talk quickly about timing. Here we are here early. People are now, everybody's talking about, you know, healthy immune system. Everybody, you know, so everybody's, this is at the forefront of everybody's mind right now is health, and everybody's talking about it, and everybody's concerned where we're going to end up in a few months. And so this is the growth curve of a healthy company. and the purple. And so LifeVantage is right here. So LifeVantage, there's no reason I can think of why this company, because it's transparent, it's got products that people want, they're priced right, people can join for free, they can join as customers, we all get wholesale pricing. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute, but we got everything put together here to be up here. When we're at stabilization, say it takes 5, 6, 7 years, and we're doing multiple billions of dollars, I still believe there's going to be people that are 12 years old today that are joining our company when they're 25 and are still going to have success. So timing is important, but you got to have everything to have a successful business. We talked real quickly about LV Connector, our team system. Of course, the company has its own system with replicating websites, shopping carts, all that is provided by the company, research and development, all that. They cover the government regulations, all of the heavy lifting. And then we as a team have created some sites to get us the information on an effective way. We have, as I said, we're publicly traded. Aaron Brockovich is on our board of directors. Our management team has 200 years plus of experience in this business model. Our scientific staff is, through the charts. When you see some of the people that are on the scientific board and the field advisory board. So it's just, and we all get this for free. We can start our business in the month of April. Instead of $50, we can start it for free. Last month, it was only $50. Next month in May, it's going to be $50. Right now, the company says for $50 and whatever products you order, you can start for free. And you can buy the products that you want. We're going to concentrate on a tri-synergizer stack, which is the 3 Protandems. In Canada, we talk about a Vitali stack because Health Canada hasn't approved the NAD product right here, which is this one. It's in that process now. We can expand a business worldwide, right, in any country that we're in. So how do you get started? It's on the compensation side. So customers join for free, customers pay wholesale tax on their product, and everybody gets free shipping. Now in Canada, it's anything over $150 worth of orders, it's free shipping. In the States, as long as we're on a subscription, it's free shipping or an auto ship. And we have multiple products. We've concentrated on 3, but we've got clean hair care systems that activate the NRF2 protein in our scalp. We've got a skincare system. We've got a weight management system. We've got an Omega product, which is, the best in the market. And you kind of expect me to say that because I'm representing the company, but just look into that. We've got a probiotic that gets through the stomach acids into the gut where it needs to get to, and the competition doesn't do that. And so on the compensation side, in a linear income, when I was working as an apprentice electrician, every year I got a pretty good raise to get up to the top rank. By the time I walked away from that job, I was making $55 an hour, and every hour, basically $1 a minute. But that was, I had to trade those hours for that income and paid income tax at the highest levels. Years ago, I started to understand the concept of leverage. Albert Einstein said about compound interest, it's the 8th wonder of the world. And most of us don't understand. Well, the same with leverage. And so you deserve to understand this concept. This is an income disclosure sheet. We're going to talk about that. We're doing one little 4-minute video now. But this here where I've got it highlighted in red, the arrow, one good opportunity is worth a lifetime of labor. If we think about that, and people that have made it and financially successful in the world, they made a right investment at the right time, they bought the right properties at the right time, they invested in the right company, or they caught in front of a movement at the right time. So with that, I'm going to just stop my share and ask Dan to play a little video, excuse me, on leverage. And I think it's me talking in that video, so you'll hear my voice again, but it is a video, and we'll be done. That's a 4-minute video, and it'll take us 15 seconds after the video to wrap up. Hello, my name is Fred Hodgins, and I'd like to talk to you about leverage and the online 200-point business model. Most people think that building a small online business would be a lot easier than building a really large online business. Well, that's not necessarily true. And everybody knows that if you want to earn a lot of income online, then your business must be a substantial size. So would it be okay for me to show you how to start a simple online business and turn it into a big business? Let's base our online business model on the Protandem Tri-Synergizer stack, which is 100 points in volume. If you're in Canada and any of the other markets that LifeVantage is doing business in, we'd be talking about a Vitality stack, which is 125 points in volume. But for this example, we're going to talk about the Tri-Synergizer and 100 points in volume. So let's just say that you and your partner or a friend each consume one Tri-Synergizer stack per month. So you and one customer would be equal to 200 points in volume. And you now have an online business doing 200 points a month. It really is that simple. Any combination of purchases between you and your customers, that's 200 points or more, and you can maximize your online business. Now, would it be okay to teach you how to become a teacher and leverage this into a big online business without becoming a salesperson? Well, let's just start with the basics of leverage. 2 times 2 is 4. It really is that basic. Is there any reason that you could not utilize these products and this video to teach 2 people to do 200 points a month and then just teach them to teach 2 more? So 4 teaching 2 would be 8 people doing the same thing. Teaching 2 would be 16. You're now 3 generations deep and you have positive leverage in your life. We continue to teach. Now it's 32 people on that 4th level. Your online business is growing. This totals 62 people, each consuming between themselves and their customers 200 points of volume. So that would equal 12,400 points. But even with 12,000 points of volume, this is still a relatively small business. So let's look what would happen if we just taught more people. For this example, let's just say 5 instead of 2. And together, we teach them to teach others. So 5 teaching 5 is 25. Teaching 5 would be 125. Teaching 5 would be 625. And then 3,125. We total that up. It's 3,905 people, each self-consuming between themselves and their customers 200 points. It equals 780,000 points of volume. And we look at the left and the right side, it looks like it's a significant difference. But what is the difference between the left side and the right side? The difference really is only 3 people. You decided to teach 5 people instead of teaching 2 people. So did you make this business bigger by being a really great salesman, or did you do it by becoming a good teacher and a good student? Obviously, you're a good teacher. So let's look at the LifeVantage compensation plan. 12,000 points of volume would put you at the rank of Pro 4, whereas 780,000 points of volume will put you at the rank of Pro 9. This is the LifeVantage income disclosure sheet. It's an audited financial statement. And you can see here at Pro 4, the average income is $1,400 a month. And I'm going to suggest that $1,400 a month of ongoing income, leveraged income, would change most families' lives in such a positive way. And we can look at the Pro 9 income level, and that's $48,000 a month of income. So teaching 3 more people made the big difference. Okay, so once I understood leverage, and it took a little bit to get my head around, but it's so important to have an online business, a leverage business today, but it's got to be in the right industry. It's got to be with the right product, or it's a total waste of time, in my opinion. So with that, this call is a wrap. So I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for your time and attention watching this today, and get back to the person that invited you here or invited this video to you. Have a great day, and let's all stay safe.